terrified and loving it. No regrets to keep me up at night. Feel so alive and loving it. I just fight, so I finally learned to fight. Left to cry for the fun of it. Now I finally see the light. Don't wanna waste a single minute. Now I finally have you, got you by my side. So let's hit the ground running. Yeah, let's hit the ground running. Yeah, yeah, let's hit the ground running. Yeah, so let's hit the ground running. Yeah, it's a beautiful ride. It's a beautiful ride. Hit the ground running. Yeah, so let's hit the ground running. I gotta choose. I'm moving, or am I gonna lose? Just breathe in and pay your dues. 'Cause that's why we're busy making moves. You and I will never sleep. I always fight the steps in between. So it's the world of the speed. So up and away. Let's look it after making mistakes. It's just a game we play, a game we play. So let's hit the ground running. Yeah, let's hit the ground running. Yeah, yeah, let's hit the ground running. Yeah, so let's hit the ground running. Yeah, it's a beautiful ride. It's a beautiful ride. Hit the ground running. Yeah, so let's hit the ground I'm terrified and loving it. No regrets to keep me up at night. Feel so alive and loving it. I do survive, so I finally learned to fight. Left to cry for the fun of it. Now I finally see the light. Don't wanna waste a single minute. Now I finally have you, got you by my side. So let's hit the ground running. Yeah, let's hit the ground running. Yeah, yeah, let's hit the ground running. Yeah, so let's hit the ground running. Yeah, it's a beautiful ride. It's a beautiful ride. Hit the ground running. Yeah, so let's hit the ground running. Hit the ground
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night, no matter where you are or what time zone you are in. It is time for one thing, and that is PBE Baseball, the Season 39 Majors Draft. Welcome, one and all. I am seeing a lot of people already in chat. The chat was just exploding at the start with Grizzy and Degumpa both subscribing. Thank you both very much. Dag even gave us the cheer with the 1 bit, so thank you very much, Dag. We got a great day for you all. Today is the Season 39 Majors Draft, and we have a lot of people in the call. That's why I'm kind of doing the intro on my own first, because there's going to be a lot of voices in just a second here. But and Michael 132 gifting a tier 1 sub. Thank you very much, Michael. We got a hype train going. Sub, gift, use bits, keep it going. We have a lot of GMs. One of the biggest co-hosting rooms that I think I've ever had. We got a lot of GMs, and we have a co-host today, T Stoles. You can see all the 8 major GMs on the side of all the people that are going to be in this call as soon as we join back in and undeafen. And Mike Cool gifting another tier 1 sub to Bruisdar, to B Gyosh. Thank you very much, Mike Cool. This is holy cow, a lot of hype for this season 39 draft. And without any further ado, let's go ahead and rejoin the call and check in with all of our major GMs and with T-Stoles. One moment here.
Oh,
Hello, welcome everyone. How are we all doing tonight?
Pretty good, pretty good.
are you talking to me?
I'm talking to
Yeah, who-
everybody.
Everyone, oh yeah, the entire.
Woohoo! Draft night.
Yeah, so it is draft night for season 39. Do a quick introduction for everyone. T-Stoles, how are you doing tonight?
Doing pretty good, excited, and ready to pass on the first overall coat to a person that definitely deserves it.
Absolutely, and we will see exactly who that is very shortly and momentarily here. As mentioned, we do have Majors GMs in the call as well, 6 of them in total. We have from the Providence Crabs, we have Dustillation. Dust, how are you doing tonight?
I'm just fine. Looking forward to talking and hyping up my picks because I think we got a lot of good ones here.
That's good to hear. Always good that as a GM that you feel confident in your draft picks. It's always a good feeling. I know that from being a GM for a while. We also have Enoch from the New York Voyagers. Enoch, how are you doing?
I'm doing well. Thank you for having us here.
You excited tonight?
Yeah. I love drafts, so it's fun. It's fun being a part of it. I guess I do kind of miss actually being drafted, but but yeah, one day.
one
day.
day you'll return to it. Thank you to Max for the 11 bits and Dag for another 12 bits and Paz with the 5 T1 subs. Paz, you're here in the call with us as one of the GMs of the Indianapolis Apex. How are you doing today? You excited?
Yes, very excited. I think this
let's
was
go.
a pretty awesome draft, and very excited to get it underway.
Absolutely. We only have a few more introductions before we do get that underway. From the Cancun Toros, Leatherneck Mike. Mike, how are you doing? You excited?
Yeah, thrilled. This was a hell of a draft. I don't think I'm ever going to beat this draft again. And I was just telling you guys in the recall. I think this is the closest I ever got to being a GM in real life, and the only way I could have gotten closer is if I actually called Paz on the phone for 6 weeks instead of DMing him. But no. But like in all seriousness, I talked to all but 2 teams at some point in the first round alone of this draft. So, yeah, it was chaos. This was the best
He didn't
time
like
that
them.
I've ever had while being unemployed. It kind of helps when you don't have anything to do. So, I did this. And everybody was gracious with me bugging them and all that. But yeah, it's an awesome class, just absolutely loaded to the brim. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, it's a really deep class. I was looking over the presentation, and there are picks into the late rounds, which is very interesting, and I'm looking forward to announcing all of those. We also have from the Boise Raptors, we have Hannah. Hannah, how are you doing? Are you excited for tonight's draft?
Great, super excited. Gordo's excited. Can't wait to go through this because, yeah, like you guys said, super deep. Really, really excited.
Glad to hear it. And last but not least, we also have from the Yeah, I got Hannah's mic's a little bit loud. I'm gonna turn Hannah down just a smidge. Zach from the Nashville Stars. Zach, how are you doing tonight? Are you excited for the season 39 Majors Draft?
Hey, yeah, always excited, especially when we actually have draft picks to make picks. So yeah, forward to it.
Alrighty, well let's get on
Except
into
will you
it.
do me a favor and will you tell AJ so he can tell Scud what draft picks are? I don't think Vancouver knows. I'm not really sure if they remember.
It's been a while. I think we've had like one major draft pick in the last like 3 drafts, maybe. It's been Soria, that's been it, pretty much.
It's like that Squidward meme. He's just looking out the window.
Yes. Yeah.
Everybody running through the fields with their picks, Vancouver.
Oh, man.
Vancouver over here looking at Yosh like, well, I guess.
All right. Well, we got a big draft. We got a lot to talk about, so let's get on into it. Welcome and thank you once again to all of our majors GMs who are here tonight. We have our first round board right there for you all. This is where the picks stand at the beginning of the draft. Now, keep in mind, trades can affect these, and spoiler alert, they will. There will be, I guarantee you, there'll be at least one trade in the first round. But this order will be affected by trades at some point. So this isn't the final pick order, but
Stop
this is
spoiling
where we
it.
started off. What's up? Stop spoiling?
Stop spoiling it.
No.
We got a
I-
we got a prediction for trades in the first.
I'm actually looking
Over under
to
4.5
see,
trades.
AJ. I'm looking to see if this is the correct order of the board before the draft because I don't remember.
She was already calling for me to be punished for leaking. Here's another leak. There's at least 2 trades in the entirety of the draft. Okay. Grizzy, thank you very much for gifting 5
Shout out,
subs.
Grizzy.
Wow, the hype train just keeps on a roll in level 4. Thank you very much, everyone. This is exciting. Everyone's very hyped for the draft. And so, without any further ado, shall we get on our way with it? Leatherneck Mike, you've got the first pick here. You want to lead us into it?
I actually do have one question because it
Yeah, sure.
makes it just for my knowledge. Do you know if the trade slides are on the pick or on chronologically when they happen?
It's on the pick. It's on the pick.
Okay. Because I was going to say,
I'm pretty sure it's on the pick.
Okay. So,
I've marked it off. If I like throw it over to you, I guarantee it won't be a trade slide next.
Okay. Because I know last year,
Yeah.
oh, the slide is here.
Yeah, we decided against
Should
that
be.
this season.
Okay.
It's just let's just put it in and
Yep.
and let it sort itself out. As
Okay,
you know.
thanks, AJ. Well, hello, folks. I sincerely hope that this is the last time I do this draft as the holder of the number 1 selection, and I think it will be, because we're getting a lot better this year, and this person that we took at 1 overall is one of the worst kept secrets in PvE history, and so without further ado, the number 1 selection in the S39 draft, the Cancun Toros select, who everyone knew we would, Skumina Holkovato Bauer is coming back to Cancun.
Bauer, a former GM of the Cancun Toros, is heading right back to his old team. So, Mike, talk me through the process here with the first overall pick.
Well, the process for this starts when he recreated, and basically the process for that was, well, I guess we're picking Bauer if we get 1 again. And then the process drastically changed when Double Dub absolutely knocked their socks off in his rookie season. And there was a heavy discussion. It came down to a vote in the war room. I've never put a pick up for vote before, but I did for this because I didn't know what we were going to do. Because the thing you have to understand is we need 1 more bat to finish this lineup. This lineup is going to win a championship. We need 1 more bat to finish the order, and this is the obvious guy. I mean, having him and Steele and Twitchy and LBG run it back from the first time, just giving Steele and Bauer the thing that they deserve that they never got when they did that last rebuild, when they got Twitchy and what Cancun is on the downswing from. It's great to run that back with him. But it was such a deep draft, we had the question, do we do something else here? Do we take the pitcher here? Because there's a lot more hitters than pitchers. But at the end of the day, everybody pitched in and we had to talk, and everybody decided that the decision now was ultimately the same as the decision had been weeks and weeks ago. And it was Bauer, and that was our unanimous decision, and that's what we did.
Well,
because, Vins, and by the way, Bauer, you can't say that anymore in Toros because I banned it. But, Vins and all the other stuff that absolutely drives me insane, other than that stuff. Bauer's a great guy. He's great in your locker room. He's great in your building. Pretty much the only thing I have to say is I let him take over the Hepcats when I left. He was my hand-picked replacement when I left Kansas City. And if you know anything about me and about the Hepcats, that's my team. they're the team I care about the most in this league, other than my Toros, and that's the only reason for that is because I'm GMing them. But I entrusted Bauer with that, and I entrust him with the first overall slot here, and he deserves it. This third player now, and he's been a great max earner the whole time, and he's a big member of many social circles in this league. So yeah, welcome Bauer. Now we can actually make it official, and because I think he's anticipated this too. And come play with Steel and LBG and Twitchy and all the new friends that you'll meet. So welcome in, buddy.
Well,
Also,
congratulations.
I gotta interrupt you, Mike,
Yep.
really quickly. I'm really sorry, but I have a feeling you might need to add a Vin's clause into that rookie contract of his.
I guess we're going to arbitration.
Ooh,
That could be spicy.
wow! First, have we ever had an arbitration for the first round pick?
I don't know if it was for the first round, but it's been a while since we had an
Was
arbitration
it Alex
case.
F?
I think so. I don't remember exactly. Sports Ghost 95, thank you for gifting a tier 1 sub to the Orbiting Death. Much
It was Alex
appreciated.
F, and it was the only time that we had a arbitration case, as far as I know.
If I was GM when Cancun drafted me, I would have gone into arbitration with myself. That would have been incredible. That'd have been great.
I'm looking forward to the second pick.
My idea.
Yeah.
What you gotta do is you gotta just submit a value like $1 apart. So you just give like the people checking the arbitration clause a headache, saying, "Come on, what are we supposed to do?"
All right, we gotta keep moving.
Yeah,
We're gonna congratulations to Bauer for being selected the number 1 overall pick in the season 39 draft, and that brings us to Paz with the number 2 overall pick, the Indianapolis Apex. Paz, you ready to announce this one?
Yeah, I'm here. So, the second overall pick, Indianapolis selects Wayne Wheeler, double dub, who is a starting pitcher. We had a decent amount. I feel like it was a very hard decision for us at 2, but super happy to get double on the team. We talked for a decent amount of time when we were scouting, and I reached out to Oregon. I'm like, yo, I think we gotta go double. And he's like, okay, so we went double, and I think this was definitely the best pick for us at the time. Kind of like what you said, we need pitching. We need a lot of things, and I think with T. Stoles, who was in the call with us, Stun Gun, and then Wayne Wheeler coming up in the future, that we'll have a really good starting rotation for the future.
All right. Well, congratulations to Wayne Wheeler, user Double Dub, for being selected here at number 2 overall, and congrats to the Apex for getting their starting pitcher that they needed. So that will bring us to number 3 with the Nashville Stars. Zach, you ready to lead us on into this one?
Yeah, let me remember this player's name since it's ridiculous. Okay. With the third pick in the draft, Nashville Stars selects Jose 43 and a quarter, which is unconfident catcher.
Goated render.
That is actually a great render.
Pretzel? No, it's a baguette.
Why is he Brittany?
Wait, is it Brady?
He's Brittany.
Oh yeah, that's right. It's Brady.
That's hilarious. So obviously, I mean, this was much like the first pick. This was a pretty expected pick for Nashville. We drafted unconfident with season 27 or whatever it was, and he was like a great pick. And huge part of our locker room, our culture there, and our war room, and we really missed having him once he retired. And our longtime catcher Otter, he's not getting any younger. He's getting pretty far into regression. Actually, he's the same draft class I think as unconfident, or something like that. So it was definitely a perfect storm that he was recreating as a catcher because we are going to be desperately needing one soon. So welcome back, Unconfident.
And congratulations to Unconfident for being selected here at number 3 overall. And that will bring us to the number 4 pick with the Boise Raptors. Hannah, you ready to bring us on to this one?
Yes, so we were super excited to pick Xavier McMagic, Reno. So we'd had Reno on the team before I was here. I mean, his messages are like pinned in like every single channel. Fantastic person. Everybody on the team loves Reno. And we're in the same boat where we need a pitcher Corey's played his last game, so could not have been better timed, I think. So super, super excited to have Reno on Boise.
Reno heading back to the Boise Raptors. Congratulations to Reno for being selected here at number 4 overall to the Legends Conference West Boise Raptors. So we
And I'll
have
definitely say, oh, and sorry to interrupt,
No,
but
yeah,
I'll
go for
definitely say that's a great pick. Excited to see what Reno does in Boise.
absolutely perfect fit as Hannah mentioned with Corey on their way out and Boise needing a catcher, but that will bring everyone just picking their old players. No, Indianapolis never had double dub on their team so far.
Yeah, but that's
But
what it kind of is sometimes. Like
it
we
is.
had a franchise legend, Nashville's a franchise legend, Boise has somebody who's very close to them, if not
Mhm.
franchise legend, like Hannah kind of mentioned in the locker room. And with Indy, like that's what you're going to do. You
Yeah.
got to build from fresh in that situation. So it's kind of the right decision for everybody so far, really, if you think
Yep.
about it.
Yeah, it makes sense. So that'll bring us to the number 5 selection. And with the number 5 overall pick, the Death Valley Scorpions are going to trade it away. That's right, number 5 overall is being sent to the Cancun Toros with the Season 41 DVS first in exchange for the Season 40 Cancun first and the Season 41 Cancun first. And if the Season 40 Cancun first is not top 5, Cancun is also going to send their Season 41 second as well.
That slide is actually wrong, by the way.
Oh, is it?
It's the DVS S40 that is coming back to us.
Okay,
Not
the
40, not
S40.
the 41.
Okay,
Yeah.
gotcha. Season 40 first.
So
Okay.
yeah, so with this, so I tried to trade up a ton. I tried to trade for number 2. I tried to trade for Wayne Wheeler for about probably since week 1 with Paz. I don't know how many trade offers he has from Cancun, but he could build a whole museum collection of them. So when that didn't happen, it immediately became okay. So pitcher number 1 off the board. What are we gonna do? Okay, well now we need a starter. We got to go up. We have all this capital, and nothing to do with it. So we tried to trade up, got denied a couple of times. Some great picks out here. So 3 didn't want to move, 4 didn't want to move. Found a trade partner in Person Man. Worked out a nice deal. Kind of a weird one, 2 firsts and potentially a second also. Switching hands on draft day, kind of a big one. It was even bigger at one point. And then we trimmed down the insanity a little bit. So we got the 5th pick, and with that 5th overall pick, the Cancun Toros are proud to welcome a new user into our ranks. No, this isn't a former player. This is hopefully a future franchise legend. Ryan Knock, Space, welcome to the Cancun Toros.
Let's go!
Yeah,
Oh my
Stoltz
god,
is
I'm his
happy to-
teammate in state. I love Knock. He's such a great guy. You're gonna love him in Cancun.
Oh yeah, I
Let's
love the
go.
dude. I hired Nas as a sports writer. Let's see, he was a week 1 waiver. So probably week 2 he came on as a sports writer in the recruitment team. And I was also a waiver starting pitcher in week 1. So there's a lot of similarities. Got a job right away. He's really good with the media. I really like their conversations. I really, really like this guy. So he was the obvious choice here if we're going to take a pitcher. If we're going to take a pitcher, this is what happened in the draft so far. We need a pitcher. We need to make sure we get that pitcher. Here is that pitcher at 5. So we got traded up. We did exactly what we wanted to do. And then from this point on is when chaos ensued for us. So we'll get to that stuff later. But yeah, welcome Nospace to Cancun. I will send you your invite as soon as I can find my phone.
And a big congratulations to Nosbase for being selected here at number 5 to the Cancun Toros, which will bring us on to number 6 overall, that being the Providence Crabs. Dusty, ready to bring us on into this one?
Yeah, so 6th overall, we did not do a million trades like the Cancun Toros and Mike there, but we stuck with our original first round pick, and with that first round pick, 6th overall here in this S39 draft, Providence Crabs select another catcher, Santiago Benito. User Cletus some might know him as Pork Chop Sandwiches. he was like our number one guy from the beginning, so we were really happy to get him at 6th overall, especially when we saw a couple other catchers get taken ahead of him. Yeah, I think we've got a little bit of a catcher pipeline here in Providence, and basically looking for the next man up mentality with Benito.
And as a former teammate of Pork Chop Sandwiches, I can vouch for Cletus in the locker room. Fantastic presence there. So absolutely a great pickup here for the Providence Crabs. So congratulations to you guys for getting your catcher of the future in Santiago Benito, and congrats to Cletus for being drafted here at 6 overall.
And this is about the time I realized this. So we were at 6, and I'm like, this is a catcher and pitcher draft so far.
It kind of is. So far, yeah.
The only exception was Bauer. Everybody else is either gonna catch or pitch.
Oh man.
I'll say I'm not surprised to see so many catchers going because we've had Unconfident, we've had Xavier, we've had Benito, so many first-round quality catchers. So, yeah, that's going to be a very scary position for Silver Slugger in a few seasons.
Absolutely, and we will see. Sorry, I just saw a comment from Johnny Quest about my previous player, but San Antonio Sloths are now on the board at number 7 overall. And with the number 7 overall selection in the Season 39 Majors Draft, the Sloths will select Luigi Lanikai, first baseman from the Chicago Kingpins, user IceBear32. Quote from Juosa says, "This was a very easy pick for us in some ways, as we have quite a connection with Ice Bear. He is Juosa's GM in the ISFL and also knows longtime Sloth director in person. We feel really strongly that he will be an awesome pick and a great player for the Sloths for many seasons to come." So congratulations to Luigi Lanikai, Ice Bear, for being selected here at number 7 to the San Antonio Sloths. T-Stoles, what do you make of this pick?
I like it, and personally, I thought they were going to go for the State College pick of bringing back a longtime player in Khan here, but Lankai's another great pick, a great connection to the team, and he's had a great start in the minors. So overall, a very good pick. And I think it's probably the safer pick at this point since Ice Bear's been a little more active.
Fair enough. And so that will actually bring us now to the number 8 overall selection, that being the Detroit Demons. 7 picks in and only 3 positions have been picked. Not wrong. Number 8, the Detroit Demons are going to select Maple Dogwood. We have a 4th position now with left field. User Dogwood Maple from the State College Swift Steeds. Taco Shop couldn't be on the call and sent us a quote saying, "The fact that we had Dogwood fall to our first pick was amazing. I honestly thought that he was a top 3 pick guaranteed, so getting him at 8 was a huge win for the Demons. He had an excellent earning history on his first player, and he fits a big need that Detroit has with the loss of Bonds and the aging Lutz. We are happy to welcome Dogwood to the Demon family." So congratulations to Maple Dogwood, our first outfielder going in the draft.
We finally got a 4th position off the board.
Yeah. I love Dogwood to death. He's one of the closest people to me in sim leagues, being original teammates with him on the Hepcats. But man, it's one of those things, and it's one of those serious moments where you're counting down the picks, and then I just stopped for a second and I went, "Oh my God, Detroit got Dogwood! How did that happen?"
It happened.
So yeah, congratulations, Demons and Dogwood.
Sometimes stuff just falls on your lap. How it works.
That was incredible.
It does happen. Can confirm. But yeah, that will bring us to number 9 overall now with the Lunar Base Space Rangers. And the Space Rangers are going to make a pick here. And with the number 9 overall selection, they will select Kirk Swerve Jr., shortstop from the California Firehawks. User Kirk Swerve. We have a quote from one of the GMs, Schoolboy Shoe, who says, "The Firehawk pipeline gets stronger as we pick up California's DH, 9th overall. Kirk and Shu were teammates in New York for almost 9 seasons, and what he brings to the clubhouse is something we wanted to bring to the moon. Kirk already has one future Hall of Famer under his belt, and should he earn like we expect him to, he should have no problem making it in with player number 2. It's probably too early to call this a steal, but if we had a pick in the top 5, Kirk was likely our target. So I know you're not a GM for Lunar Base, Enoch, but Kirk Swerve has been with Kirk Swerve was with the Voyagers for a long period of time.
Yeah.
What can you tell us about him?
Kurt is a wonderful guy. I had the pleasure of being his teammate, he being his GM. It was really sad when it was time for him to retire, and he took a few seasons off because I know he wanted to come back, and honestly, it was hard because there's a chance that he was going to drop to us, and then this actually helped because it actually I didn't have to choose anymore. So I think I think it's a great pick. I knew the Space Ranger is going to go for a shortstop, and there was a chance that Kirk would go here, and I wish him the best, and we love him and we miss him a lot, and so yeah.
Well, there you have it. Kirk Swerve Jr., the shortstop to the Lunar Base Space Rangers at pick number 9. Feel like that render should be wearing like a helmet or something. I feel like that's not probably best practice to be out on the moon just without space gear on and oxygen. But to each their own. Number 10 overall. This brings us to Buffalo's first pick of the draft, and with the number 10 overall pick, the Buffalo Surge will select De'Aaron Taylor, first baseman from the Louisville Lemurs, user Pluto. Quote from the GM T-Den Destroyer, who says, "There is a lot to say about this pick. It was our only one of the draft that was allotted to us thanks to varying cap penalties. With that understanding, this was a pick of utmost importance, and we could not afford to miss. Thankfully," and this is a shout out to the recruiting team, "this draft is deep, and without that, we wouldn't have gotten De'Aaron Taylor along with his user Pluto 10 picks in. Pluto is a phenomenal and respected user that normally has no business falling outside the top 5 and still could have gone within that group, and no one would have batted an eye. After a scouting conversation between Pluto and PM Scram, we felt that it would have been a mistake for us to go with anyone else other than De'Aaron. We were in a position to go with the best player available here, and the Surge management feels that is exactly what we got. With that being said, how else could the Buffalo organization not be anything but electric with him falling to us at this juncture in the draft? It is with true joy and palpable excitement that we get to say De'Aaron Taylor, along with his user Pluto, welcome to the Buffalo Surge." So congratulations to Pluto. De'Aaron Taylor being selected to the Buffalo Surge here at pick number 10 overall.
I gotta say, this is a good pick. Pluto went first in the minor league draft, and honestly, in my mock drafts, I was having a tough time picking where he'd go because it's such a stacked class, and there's not a lot of wrong picks this early on, and I know Buffalo's gonna love him.
Absolutely. And to have the number 1 in the minors draft fall to you at number 10, that's a good feeling to be able to pick up someone that is that valued in the minors and is maybe undervalued in the majors,
Well,
with them falling to number 10. But
not just that though, AJ, but it's not like his earning fell or anything.
right.
Like you got the guy who went first in the minors, and like he kept proper pace. It's just the class was so loaded. That's just where it went.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And we've been saying this draft class is deep, and this is evidence of it. Like, look at this top 10. This is an incredible
Dogwood
top
already
10.
fell to 8. We've got the first overall falling to 10. And I'm sure 12, 13, 14, we're going to say, wow, any other season, they're borderline top 5 or better.
And Dogwood was second in minors draft, so that's
Yeah.
1 and 2 in minors going 8 and 10.
Yeah.
I got to say, we got so lucky we got Dogwood second in the minors. I have no idea how he didn't go first overall there.
Okay, well, this brings us to number 11 overall, that being the Seattle Sea Serpents. And with this number 11 pick, the Sea Serpents are going to trade it away alongside Xavier Crawford. And in exchange, Seattle will be receiving Billy Hargrove and Strawberry Santos. So Enoch, you're in the call. Seattle Sea Serpents GMs aren't in the call here, but can you talk to me a little bit about this trade here? Obviously, Billy Hargrove being all bets on James heading to Seattle to GM, correct?
I can't count because apparently, like, I heard number 10. I was like, oh, I still got a couple of picks left. Nope. um, I can't count. Okay, so for everybody who don't know, Billy Hargrove is all bets on James or Jimbo, who was at one point my co-GM. He went to HO, so he was no longer my co-GM. And this one is hard. This one's been brewing for a while because he took the job for over in Seattle. He went back to GMing because that's his passion, his love. Broke my heart, but I wasn't gonna stop because I know that's what he wanted to do. So obviously we had to trade his player who was still under contract, and so yeah, so as part of it, I realized I probably want to get back into this draft a little bit, and so this was the deal that ended up working out, and yeah, it's so sad. It's sad to see because like it's real now.
Yeah.
Because we've been sitting around like, oh no, this is it. This is the last time that Jimbo's gonna be in like our locker room and stuff. Well, I mean, we kicked him out of the war room a week ago, but so yeah, so this is kind of bittersweet for me, but yeah, we're very happy. We're getting Xavier Crawford back. He was the first round pick in season 36 for Seattle, and we're now have number 11 overall. So I guess we moving on to the slide. So at number 11, and I hope I remember the order correctly, because now we have 11 and 12, and the New York Voyagers select Arrow Cove. The user is Laura. I never actually heard it said, so I just assume it's Laura. But this is our future center fielder. This is as J.R. Francescaro is getting into regression. We need to replace our outfielder slowly but surely. And I had a good conversation and vouch from Caleb, who is in our war room, on Laura and how great of a person they are. So yeah, we're really excited. So welcome to the team, Laura, and I will send you an invite as soon as I can. I think Caleb was supposed to, but I don't know if he has the. I don't think he has the permission. So okay, I'll give you an invite in just a little bit.
But in the meantime, you got another pick
right
after, right?
Oh no, I have another pick. So we have back to back. So this is actually kind of fun because we were watching how everything transpired, and at every pick we had like a plan. Okay, this is what we're gonna do. This is what we're gonna do, and so by the time it got to us, we figured that the back to back is going to. We knew who we wanted, and at number 12, we select Jeffy. I'm not going to say, but another code, because we want to keep collecting all of them. So Jeffy, if Jeffy has, I have a special tie to Jeffy because he was my first draft pick ever in the PBE. When I became GM of the Hepcats, my first draft ever at number, I think it was 7 that the Hepcats had, we selected Jeff, and we love him to death. And he was also on the Voyagers for a while, so it's great to have him back. And I know he wanted to come back and so forth. And we're really glad that we had a chance to. I just realized the slice at center field. Like, he's everything but a center fielder. But yeah, he's technically a catcher. So, but yeah. So he has been part of New York for a while. If you look back, there was a very infamous. Our trade, we traded for him way back when, and that was kind of infamous because he never actually got traded when the Sims started. That was hilarious. So, right, Mike? So, my
No
favorite.
comment.
So, for anyways, I'll tell the story some other time. This is not the time, but anyways, we love Jesse, and welcome back, buddy. I will reach out to you as soon as I can. So, yeah.
I love Jeffy. I'm happy he went back to New York.
Jeffy's great. I wish we
Yeah.
were able to get him in a state, but unfortunately, he was always going to be a first-round pick. Excited that he'll be playing in New York.
All right. Well, we have two coves off the board back to back at 11 and 12. So
Cove,
that will.
Cove.
What was that?
Cove.
Cove,
Instead of
Cove, yeah.
Wheeler, Hepcat, Toro, the double thing. Cove.
Dillo. It's Cove. The New York
Yeah.
Coves. Yeah, when's the rebrand coming, Punk? Number 13 overall, the Outer Banks Aviators are now on the board with their first pick of the draft, and with that pick, the Outer Banks Aviators are going to trade it away. It's going to be sent alongside Giggity Goo and Season 40 Maui third rounder to Seattle, and in exchange, Seattle will be sending to OBX Bob Bipperson and the Season 41 Seattle third rounder. So another big trade going on, and that brings Seattle now to their first pick of the Season 39 Majors Draft. And with that pick, the Seattle Sea Serpents will be selecting Harley Quinn, user Haseo from the Anchorage Wheelers, catcher from that organization. We have a quote from Musha, one of the new GMs of Seattle, who says, heading into this draft and a rebuild on the fast approaching horizon, we knew we needed to get a proven user here, and Quinn popped up as our need for a catcher was blindingly apparent. We look forward to many years in Seattle. So congratulations to Haseo here for being selected by the Seattle Sea Serpents. This is kind of weird for me. We have one of my former co-GMs drafting another one of my former co-GMs with Haseo and Musha. That's kind of funny. But congratulations to Harley Quinn for being drafted here at pick number 13 to the Seattle Sea Serpents. And that brings us to number 14, that being the Cancun Toros. And with the number 14 overall pick, the Cancun Toros are going to trade it to the New York Voyagers.
Okay. You capable observers will observe my question to AJ at the beginning of this thing. Are these per pick or sequential? If it went sequential, well, first of all, if it went sequential, the trade for 10 or 11 or whichever the Seattle or the New York trade away of Jimbo would have been on the top. But also, this would have been like right after pick 5, because as soon as I got pick 5, I went, okay, this is great. I can't pay 4 first-round picks. These need to disappear. Would anyone like to help me make these picks disappear? And Enoch, the good friend of mine, decided to give me a hand and help me make one of those picks disappear. And he can actually pay, which, again, a weird statement from Enoch. He can actually pay another first-round pick. So we got a first in 42 for the way down their future to do something with and move some capital around, and I hope Enoch's happy with his pick here, his now third first round pick.
Well, yeah, if the trade went by chronologically, the number 11 that we did was actually technically before the draft, so it's the first trade of the actual draft. But but we decided to we wanted to show it incongruent to the pick itself, so you don't have to be reminded later on.
Yeah, which is a good idea. Clap, clap. I agree. Yeah.
Okay, so at number 14, so when we were picking 11 and 12, we knew what we wanted next. There was a couple options, and we just kind of decided that to let 13 sort it out for us. 13 actually did not do what I thought it may have done, so we still had to choose. But at number 14, we decided to go. We need a pitcher, ultimately to kind of to continue rebuilding this rotation that we had, and with number 14, the New York Warriors select Johnny Patey, version 2, and Patey, he is a recreate the last time he had a kid and unfortunately had to go inactive, but we got him uh, way back when on the Hepcats, and he's a great dude, and uh, and I thought that for what we needed and how our team is structured and how we are, he'll be a great fit. And so I'm really happy that I get to draft him and for him to be a part of New York. So welcome, Patey.
I can vouch for Patey. He was a really good Nashville star.
Yes, he is. He's a good dude.
Well,
So this is one of those interesting things for you who are doing your TPE or not for TPE anymore. For money, if you're doing a media, if you're doing a media and you see a player who's drafted by the Hepcats at one point like 10 seasons ago, Enoch might take him. That's a good little note. Scratch out some extra words in your media because it did it twice here in this draft alone. So a little extra note for you can add at the bottom. Get some extra words and some extra cash.
all right. Well, welcome to New York, Johnny Patey V2, and that brings us to number 15 overall, the Cancun Toros.
What might I do here?
Are you gonna trade it again, Mike?
Yeah.
Hey, who leaked?
Guys at the
Oh,
league.
God, traded it again.
Another trade. All right, so the Aviators are going to be receiving this pick, number 15 overall, and in exchange, the Cancun Toros are going to be receiving number 19 overall and $1 million in season 41 salary cap.
Yep. So, I'll be checking myself into Traders Anonymous after this draft. Again, couldn't pay the first round picks. Had a few different offers on the table. Decided, well, staying in the top of the second could be really interesting because we have, 18 by number, but 17 by not including the comp pick. In that range, I was like, okay, 2 picks at the top of the second round kind of works out money and in theory with what we want. And after some long discussions with Bailey, this is the package that we settled on, and we drop down 4 spots for a little bit of cap in the distant future.
All right, so that brings us to OBX's pick then, instead of Cancun's here at number 15. And with the number 15 overall selection, the Outer Banks Aviators will pick Beckett Brooks, shortstop from the Brew City Bears, Stumanji 8. I'm assuming that's a play on Jumanji. Stumanji 8. Quote from Bailey, who says, honestly, we could not believe this guy fell all the way to 15th. During the scouting, this was one of my more memorable conversations. Immediately, you could tell that he was so ready to learn and take the league by storm. He was always so willing to learn to help others and is getting involved in media where he thrives. This was an easy choice for us as he is going to be a great fit here in OBX. Welcome to OBX, Beck.
This is another guy who works for me as a sports writer in the recruitment team, and this is one of those where going into the draft, I kind of thought Stu Monty would fall into the second round just because of how ridiculously loaded the class was, and I felt kind of bad for him because I was kind of like, this guy would get the first round recognition. That, because I know some guys like going in the first round, right? Like it's a thing. You want to be a first round pick, whatever. This guy deserved to go in the first round and would have gone in the top 10 of a hell of a lot of drafts. And when I saw him come off 15 OBX, I'm like, okay, good. I'm glad that Stu went in the first round. This is a really good pick. I thought this was going to be like Indy or something, like one of those top second round picks where you go, damn, they got a first round talent in the second round. This is one of those. This is a very good pick by the defending world champs.
Well, congratulations to OBX for selecting Beckett Brooks here at number 15, and congrats to Stumanji8 for being selected here by the Outer Banks Aviators.
I also got to say, I'm really happy because I actually got this pick right in my mock draft, although it was
yeah?
at 13 and not 15.
Did
But
you-
yeah, it's a
Oh,
good
let's go.
pick, and So now they've got Dunkin' Donuts and Beckett Brooks. They'll be able to replace Jose 43 and Urs Schneider within 5 seasons' time.
Yeah.
That's their future setup in the middle infield.
Was your mock draft like a podcast? Because I couldn't find it in the media earlier.
Now,
Was it?
it was written media. I'll post it. I'll
Okay.
link to it again into the other media, but actually got a few picks so far right, and also a few very wrong.
Yeah, post in our like group voice chats, like chat, so I can check it out later.
Well, the
'Cause-
funny thing is, it's like before the last sim, AJ.
Thank
So
you.
he's gotten picks right, not to the right teams, or not in the right like places, but to the right team. So it's really interesting.
All right. So that will bring us to number 16 overall. That being the New Orleans Rougarou, the last pick of the first round, and the Rougarou will trade it away. This is an interesting trade here. We have 16 overall, as well as the season 41 NOLA first rounder, heading to Maui in exchange for the season 41 Maui first, season 40 Maui second, and season 41 OPX third. Lots of picks being exchanged here between these two teams, and it leads to Maui actually holding the number 16 overall selection. And with that number 16 overall pick, the Maui Makos will select Harvey Brinkley Jr., second base from the California Firehawks, user John Wayne 12, previously known as Derek Rogers Jr., from DRJ to HBJ. And we have a quote from Rabid, one of the GMs of Maui, who says, we thought we had a deal in place for the 5th overall pick, but that was outbid by the Toros, as we saw, so then it became a matter of trying to get back into the first round. Despite us reaching out for pretty much every pick from 7 down, we finally were able to strike a deal for this pick. Surprised is not the word I would use here, as much as dumbfounded that John W. was still available. It's literally a perfect of a fit for us as I could imagine, a player who max earned last time and will again 100%, plus fills our huge hole we had in our future for batting. We couldn't be more excited to get him here and look forward to having the steal of the season 39 draft a few seasons down the road. So congratulations to John Wayne 12, formerly known as Derek Rogers Jr. Another great locker room presence, as I can vouch for, having been teammates with John Wayne 12 for only a season, I believe, in Vancouver. But great person, John Wayne 12, and a great co-host as well. So congratulations to John Wayne 12 for being selected here at pick number 16.
I'll say good to see Maui being able to get a good player, including one that probably should have been another early pick, but again, this is such a loaded draft. That's the reason that Brinkley's fallen all the way to 16, but I was a little worried because Maui, they were entering without a first. They've recovered, and at the end of round 1, pick a really good player who will be good in their middle infield for years to come.
Absolutely. Look at this first round. Like, this is just a stacked first round.
Crazy.
Like, this is as wild of a first round as I think I've seen in a while. We said it was a deep draft. Here's your evidence. So first round, there's your 16 picks for the first round. Keep in mind that the PowerPoint will be available on JSync later, so if you need to take a look back at these renders, they'll all be available on JSync later. But that brings us to the compensation pick right after the first round, the Providence Crabs. Dust, we haven't heard from you in a bit here on the stream. You ready to announce your next pick?
Yeah, I guess I'm not as exciting with the drafts, doing 18 trades, so I'm just gonna stick with what I got here. And I think we got a good one here. So this comp pick here at the end of the first round obviously caused a little confusion on what pick number it is. So interesting to see what the draft slides show. But Providence Crabs here are going to select the third baseman Swan Song Goose, not to be confused with the Led Zeppelin record label Swan Song. That's a G at the end. But yeah, Philip Pryor. Many might know his previous create as Bergamot Lemon, who I'm pretty sure is a Hall of Famer, or if he isn't, he should be. So yeah, former Crab, and then I think spent a year or a season or two on the Supernovas or whatever they are now. And yeah, super glad to bring back Pryor. He's one of the most genuinely enjoyable people to talk to that I've ever talked to in sim leagues. And yeah, I've known him for a couple years now, and super happy to bring him back to the pot.
Congratulations to Philip Pryor for being selected here with the round 1 comp pick from the Providence Crabs. And a lot of people, and a couple of people in chat were mentioning it. I just want to take a minute as well to bring attention to all the work that the Draft Graphics team has done putting together this presentation. That team works very hard in making this presentation as good as it can be. So thank you all. Thank you to all of the Draft Graphics team for putting together this lovely presentation. And as mentioned, these renders will be available to see later on. We will post the slides to JSync at some point. I don't know when that will be, because that's not me, but that's not my job. But much appreciated to everyone on the Draft Graphics team who's putting in work for these presentations.
Oh, yeah. Oh, they spoiled the cap penalties. They didn't let you click through them like they did before. Look at all these leaks. Oh my goodness.
All the leaks. All the leaks.
We got a lot of forfeit picks here. Usually the forfeits aren't. Well, I mean, sometimes the forfeits are a click through. Usually the passes are, but the forfeits sometimes do pop up all at once.
The forfeits was, maybe it was last season or something. It was funny, like, let's say a forfeit. Just go one by one. All right, 7 picks later, finally, there's another one.
It is pretty fun to see all the forfeit picks pop up one at a time. But this one is not forfeit, number 17 overall.
No.
Mike, you want to bring us in?
Yeah. So Rabbit and the Makos 2 picks ago said they had the steal of the draft in DRJ, and again, a very good pick at the end of the first round. However, I have to say, not so fast, my friend. At number 5 for our selection, there was a vote taken. It was either Naspace, who we wound up taking, who won the vote, and then only 1 vote away was the person that we wound up taking at 17, whose name I will butcher to death. So with the 17th pick, the Cancun Toros select Nova Montang? Montange? Yeah, I don't know, whatever. Orbiting Death, OD. OD is a guy that I encountered in the Simulation Soccer League, the SSL. He was in the Sydney City team with me, and I really liked the guy. Like he like stood out my head from those days, and he was such a nice guy. And then when I saw that he created, then he was earning well. I reached out to OD, and we had a conversation for scouting in like week 2. It's like very early. I talked to a bunch of guys. Wayne Wheeler was one of them. Nasby was one of them. This is another one of them. Bauer, of course. Like I talked to a bunch of guys really, really early this year. And OD was one of the guys that I talked to very early on, and I showed him the plan, and he absolutely bit in. He absolutely bought in for the plan. You know, he's one of these guys who's going to be around a long time. You think as a general manager, you know, they buy into a plan, then you think that they will stay. He loved the plan. We loved him. I love the guy from SSL. Fantastic locker room presence. This Cancun's locker room going to be ridiculous. We might have to make the Discord server bigger or boost it or something. I don't know if we're going to be able to keep up with it. But OD, welcome to Cancun, buddy. I'm stoked to have you. A guy that I would have taken in the top 5, we took in the 2nd round. So, yeah, draft is certifiably insane at this point.
Well, big congratulations to Orbiting Death. Wait a minute, what is that? The render by Orbiting Death. They knew where they were going.
Oh, that's
Look at that. Right down at the bottom of the picture.
That is a very big leak.
Right down at the bottom of the picture. Render by Orbiting Death.
I didn't know he took it. Really? I'm surprised they let him do that. That's interesting. No, so he told me he was on Draft Graphics so he could see the drafts or whatever. And I'm like, oh, okay, you know, whatever. I didn't expect him to take his own render. Although, I mean, really, who better to do a render for than yourself, if you think about it?
There you go. So congratulations to Orbiting Death, although you already knew that where you were going here at number 17. So congratulations for being selected to the Cancun Toros. And that brings us to number 18 with Paz. Paz, you ready to bring us into this one?
I'm back. It feels like I've been forever since I said anything. But with the 18th overall pick in the second round of this draft, Indianapolis is going to take Aldebert Steiner. Username is Merchant. They are a right fielder from Amarillo. We definitely needed a bat as of this point. And one of our scouts, Josh, who is in the chat right now, is saying Merchant, was like super high on Merchant and like sold me on him. Besides, the normal scouting stuff that I would do, and I'm like, I feel like this is the gotta be the pick here. So, super happy that Merchant's over here. More outfielders for the future.
This is a great pick.
Yeah, it
If
is. This is really
if
good.
uh, if somehow we didn't have uh, I had people in the war room fighting for him at like 11, 12, and we did seriously think about it. So, but yeah, yeah, it's I had a really good conversation with him too. It's a great pick.
We had so many pictures to take, but I was hoping by some miracle he was going to fall under the radar in a heavy class to top of the third round, and we would take him there. But no, yeah, this is a really good pick. Another guy that I thought was going to slip just by the nature of the draft, who goes probably really right where he ought to be, or maybe even time will tell he should have been a first round pick. But no, this is another really nice indie pick. That Apex thing is looking really good, and as a former Apex myself, I'm very happy to see it.
Well, congratulations to Adelbert Steiner for being drafted here at number 18 to the Apex. And Mike, that brings us back to you with number 19. You want to bring us on into this one?
Well, what do you think I did with it, AJ?
Did you not make a pick?
No, I
Drafted
made
the
one. I'm
steal.
just trying to get one over on you. No, I took. So you've got coming into the draft, one bat done. Uh, Another starter, maybe even two. Who knows? Feel a little freaky. Take two starters. Well, we got Nos at 5. Thought OD was going to be long gone. Oh, he's there at 17. Bing, bang, boom. Okay, now we have more starters. Uh, well, who's going to go in the bullpen? Is that really our question coming into this draft? We need to fill out our bullpen. We need young pitchers to front that next generation. We've got our next front line and starters, and now we've got our stopper for the long-term future. Finally, that bullpen slot is going to get filled. Negs, welcome to Cancun.
Well, congratulations to Ryan Neggs, the relief pitcher from the Lemurs, who's going to get picked here at number 19 by the Toros. And as you mentioned, stopper of the future for the Toros. So now you've got your relief pitcher. You're all set, right, Mike?
Yeah, and it's one of those things. Next is a guy. He's not. And we talked to him about it in draft scouting. There's a chance that he doesn't get to max equipment every year, which is absolutely fine. You need these rocks in your bullpen. Like you can't pay everybody max money all the time. You just won't have enough money. You need these rock solid guys who are mid high earners, but not absolute super maxes. They do everything. They're good in your locker room. They're the glue pieces of your team. You know, the role players as they call them in other sports, and this is one of those guys. And this is a fantastic one to have. He already had a nice first career. Now we're glad to have him for the second one, and he will fit absolutely perfectly in the back end of the bullpen when we're winning titles down the road.
Well, congratulations to Ryan Neggs for being drafted here to the Cancun Toros at number 19. That brings us to number 20 with the Boise Raptors. Hannah, you ready to lead us on into this one?
Yes, so this was the Kobe draft, so we had to get ourselves a Kobe. We got Why Not Kobe. So this is user Tony W19, someone I'm familiar with from SHL. He was in my J team, which I've stuck around with in the war room. Excellent user, just a fantastic guy. And this is his first PB player, and we're really excited to get him. He's an incredible person.
Yet another Covey has been taken off the draft board here at number 20. So congratulations to Why Not Cove, or Why Not Covey. I don't know. Did they pronounce it Cove or Covey? I've always pronounced it Cove.
Well, it was Cove, but maybe it's Covey. I don't know.
But congratulations anyway.
Actually, no, it would be Covey. Fuck. Cove E.
Yeah, long E maybe.
Anyway.
Either way, congratulations to Why Not here at number 20.
Calm down there, Mr. Impatient. Actually, Hannah, something interesting you might get a kick out of. This is the pick where I realized what the deal with all the Cove's first names is. I did not know it until that pick.
Oh, yeah. Evox got a little cult, and I love that for her.
It only took him 4 seasons.
Yeah, it only took me 4 seasons to realize the inversion. I never realized it before this. Because why is it Why Not Cove? And then Enoch goes, you realize it's the username backwards, right? No.
It did take me a long time to figure it out too. To be fair, I did figure it out after a few seasons, but it took me a while. But congratulations to Why Not Cove for being selected here at number 20. That brings us to number 21. Seattle is going to make their next pick here, and they will select Alyssa Jacob, user Cantherion from the Chicago Kingpin center fielder. Here at pick 21, Musha says, "We were astounded that a user of such high regard was still sitting here at this point, and the look was an obvious steal from our perspective. Welcome to Seattle, and we look forward to Alyssa Jacob being a Serpent for many seasons to come." So congratulations to Alyssa Jacob. This is kind of a far drop for Cantherion, who's one of the top.
I was going to mention that because it's very interesting to me, or not interesting, but it's funny that this is the team that did it. This is a down all 5. It's very hard to pay down all 5s. The only teams that can do down all 5s are teams going into rebuild. Seattle already did this once at the beginning of the first build of the franchise, like Jabs is the most famous example. Wanted to be down 0-5. Seattle took him highly, and it worked. Yet another one at the beginning of the second build of the Seattle franchise, Cantherion, a hopeful down 0-5 seasons in the minors, goes to Seattle in an incredibly advantageous pick position here because 10 seasons down the road, it's not going to matter that they wanted to be down 5 seasons in the minors to help their beloved Kingpins, but to us, the GMs, 4 seasons of paying the money without them being able to come up does hurt us. So it's a very tricky situation to be in. Seattle in the perfect situation to be able to take Cantherion. And again, like I said, did it at the beginning right away. The first time Seattle got built the way it did, and now Jimbo and Musha do the same thing here.
Yeah. Well, congratulations to Cantherion, Alyssa Jacob, for being selected here at number 21 to the Seattle Sea Serpents. Great pick by Seattle, with Cantherion falling all the way to number 21. So that brings us to number 22. The Providence Crabs have this pick, and with this pick, the Providence Crabs will trade it. So we have another trade where Maui is going to receive this pick, as well as a much later pick, 54 overall, in exchange for 31 and 51 overall from to the Providence Crabs from Maui. So a few more movings of picks. Dusty, you have a quick comment on this, or is this just a quick shifting around of picks here?
Yeah, just getting a little extra value. That's all it is. Just shuffling picks around, just like a lot of people are doing in this draft. So, especially because unlike the last few drafts I've been a part of, it feels like the later rounds held a lot of value in this draft, and we'll see that later on, I think, too.
All right, fair enough. So now Maui has the number 22 overall pick, and with the number 22 overall pick, Maui will trade it away. So they got the pick immediately, and then immediately sent it back out. So I was told that this was not a 3-team trade, so this is just 2 trades that happened fairly back to back.
Yeah, I didn't coordinate anything with Seattle, so that was all just Maui doing a handoff and grabbing a paycheck.
So Seattle
I didn't realize this. AJ, like before the stream, I wondered what you meant by a 3-team.
Yep.
I thought
this
you
is
just
one of
meant like the stuff that happened quick succession. I did not realize that this pick got traded twice.
Yep,
Oh,
just got
that's
flipped.
interesting.
So Seattle is going to receive that pick instead, alongside the season 41 Seattle fourth, and then Maui is going to receive 26 overall, so they're trading back a little bit, and also gain 1.25 million in season 40 salary cap, in exchange for this pick and a future fourth. So that brings us to number 22 overall, finally with the Seattle Sea Serpents actually making the pick. And so with number 22 overall, Seattle Sea Serpents are going to select Lotso Heineken Bear version 2.0 starting pitcher Jabs from Rue City Bears. We have a quote from Musha who says, "We moved in to make this pick to ensure that we were able to once again bring Jabs to Seattle. His last player called Seattle home for their entire career, and we are certainly hoping the same can be said for this player. Jabs is a great human being. Welcome home, Jabs." So Jabs, on a more, from what I hear, a more casual earning schedule with this player, and maybe that's why maybe that's why Jabs fell a little bit.
Yeah, I mean,
But
if he was maxing, he'd have been an easy top 5 pick if in contention for one overall. But no, Jabs is taking a more casual approach this time. He goes back to Seattle, and like I just said, AJ with Negs and with us, and I can say the same thing about Jabs because he was also in consideration with that 19th selection. Again, you need these guys on your team who can help in your locker room and aren't necessarily the highest earner in the world. So if you're going to casual earn in BBE, for any of those who may be around from other leagues, if you want to casual earn in PBE, that is the right place to do it because you could still be incredibly effective in Jabs and effective arm for years to come. And hey, part of the reason I pointed out the similarity with Cantarion, look who goes back to Seattle at the beginning of the second build of the franchise, the guy that they took to begin the first.
yeah, and once again, I just want to point out this is a another fantastic render by the Draft Graphics team. Specifically, Sarah did this one, incorporating the minors team, the majors team, and the player render in lots of the bear for Toy Story. So another a common Draft Graphics team W, as some people might say. But
I
congratulations.
don't know where Sarah found the time to do it, but I'm sure I am glad that she does.
Yeah. So congratulations to Jabs for being selected here going back to Seattle at number 22 here. And we have a couple of forfeits due to cap penalties, as you can see, for 23, 24, and 25. So that brings us actually to number 26 now. That being the Maui Makos, and they will make a pick here, and with the number 26 selection, the Maui Makos will take Gustavo Fring, relief pitcher from the Puerto Rico Ranas, user LGM Forever. We have a quote from Rabbit who says, "Cue the Makos' second biggest need, some bullpen depth." Now, it's no secret you can't really afford multiple max earning relief pitchers long term, but LGM has shown in the past he can at least be consistent, and we fully expect that here. We don't need him to be a world beater for earning, just to keep at it, and this will 100% be a win for us long term as we are able to add a third active arm to the team's long-term bullpen plans. So congratulations to Gustavo Fring, LGM Forever, and the Maui Makos for making this pick here at number 26. And that brings us now to number 27, which is forfeit by the Seattle Sea Serpents. So instead we have number 28, the New York Voyagers with Enoch. Enoch, you want to lead us into this one?
Yeah, so at number 28, one, I want to apologize to Bauer. I will explain later to you. But at number 28, the New York Voyagers select Romeo Rosa. The user is Swaggy Eagle from the Hepcats. He is a pitcher who is extremely active in the Hepcats locker room. He's been scouting for them. Just a fun guy to talk to, and just very enthusiastic. And we needed more pitching, and I think he'll be a great fit for us. And I look forward to helping him with his development, just seeing how he will do over time. But yeah, welcome, buddy. Really glad to have you on the team.
So congratulations to Romeo Rosas, Swaggy Eagle, for being selected here at number 28 to the New York Voyagers, helping them out with their pitching in the future.
I gotta say, it's another great pick for New York. They've already had a very stacked draft, and Rosas is part of a very good pitching class. So definitely a great pick to have in the middle of the second round.
And those of you who know the history of Kansas City, this will mean a lot to you. He's one of the most active locker room guys I've ever seen. And that takes in a lot of people. And interesting, just the way our server is set up, old GMs are still in the dugout, like in our protected team locker room channel, or however you want to term it. And Rosas and Enoch chat just about every morning in there. So it was nice to see a guy who can go develop, and such a nice kid, go to New York. This is a great landing spot for him.
Absolutely. And so that actually brings us now to the number 29 overall selection, that being the Outer Banks Aviators. And the Outer Banks Aviators are going to select Okada Khan, third baseman from the Swifties, user Khan. Quote from Bailey says, "When we were looking at number 29, we were also surprised that Khan was here. He had a fantastic previous player, and I knew him from the second line of the ISFL. Being his GM for a bit, with a name like Okada, we really could not pass on him. We are starting to build the left side of the infield for the future, and with Khan and Beck, these two are going to be forces. I love my chat with Toivo yet again, and know that he is going to look like an incredible steal in a couple of seasons. Welcome to OBX Khan." So T-Stoles, another minors teammate of yours with the Swifties.
I gotta say, Khan has been a steal in late rounds twice in a row now, because I have no idea how Khan fell to the third round, I think it was, in the minors draft last year. And I'm surprised that he's picked 29 this year. What a great pick for Outer Banks. And now you take a look in 6 seasons' time, an infield of Khan, Donuts, and Brooks is going to be absolutely disgusting. Great pick for Outer Banks, and excited to see Khan with the rest of those guys.
And Outer
And by
Banks.
disgusting, I mean good.
Disgusting in a good way.
very
Yeah.
annoying for me as the pitcher, because I have to then face that group for 5-6 seasons down the line.
And really, so far, a good draft for the defending world champs in Outer Banks. They've picked up some good players here. And with the forfeit pick from the Vandals at 30, that will bring us to number 31, the Providence Crabs. And with the number 31 overall pick, Dust, do you want to bring us in?
Yeah, so a lot of people were talking about how they were fighting over people and everything like that. Well, we were fighting to get out of this pick. Unfortunately, we had to stick with it. So we drafted 31 overall, a couple batters early on, and then we get this trash can here, Crabston to Potson, at 31 here in the second round. So.
Oh my God, they act okay.
That's not a trash can; it's a cauldron. It looks like.
Well, all right.
I know what you meant. That. So for those wondering, Dust is indeed talking about Dust's own player, that being the GM pick of Crabston DePotson. So
it's a really fun render, Sonic. I like that.
Yeah. We don't really. This was, I think, the only GM pick that we had this draft. So
yeah, for once, instead of 5 of them, there was one.
Yep. So there's your second round. Congratulations to all of our second rounders as we head into the third round. We do have one compensation pick before that does happen, that being the Outer Banks Aviators. And with the compensation pick, the Outer Banks Aviators are going to select Bone Bearer, first baseman from the Brew City Bears, user Bearer12. So we got Bearer the Bear, username Bearer. This is a lot of bears involved. Bear. Bailey says, "Have you seen the incredible articles that this guy has put out? A fellow data nerd, so this was impressive. When I posted his articles in the war room, everyone knew that this was the person to get. I was reminded so much of Caravaggio here, so the chance to get him, there was no doubt this was the pick. Bearer impressed me a lot in talks, just chatting about other things he was interested in, and even threw a chirp at me, which proves he will fit in perfectly." I don't know what that means. Welcome to
chirp?
A chirp, like maybe a tweet, like a Twitter? I don't know. Welcome to OBX Bearer. I don't know what chirp, through a chirp. I don't think I've heard that phrase before, if that means something. But congratulations to Bone Bearer of the Bears. Bailey says no one knows what a chirp is. Yeah, I guess not. Sorry. A chirp is a dig. Oh, okay. Through shade. Okay. All right, got it.
Oh, okay, that kind of chirp, yeah.
Sarcastic.
Just never heard of that before. I'm sorry.
That's not a thing.
Lots of Lots of forfeits in
wow.
the third
Yeah,
round.
did you like the forfeits from the last round, AJ? How about this one? This
Yes.
round barely existed.
Yeah, 3 picks in the third round, and and we start off with number 33, the Cancun Toros pick, which is going to be traded. But first, there's a different trade. So first, Nashville Stars will receive 35 overall. And season 40 OBX second, and the Maui Makos receive Hayden Andrews. And then after that, that 35 overall then gets flipped to the Toros alongside 58 overall in exchange for number 33 overall. So this pick being traded to the Stars for a couple of picks, one of which was traded from the Makos. So that brings us to number 33, that being Nashville. Zach, you want to bring us into this one?
Yeah, I did want to say before I announced the pick that I love ABH. It was really, really hard to trade him, but we've been kind of keeping this Nashville train going for so long, and sometimes that requires flipping people that you really enjoy being on the team. So I'm going to miss ABH being on the team. Hopefully, he won't be a stranger in the locker room, and I wish him luck. But with pick number 33, Nashville selects relief pitcher Jebediah Crunk Jr., which is user Ziegel. This one worked out for us. We couldn't bring Ziegel's original player back, who we picked up, and just due to cap restrictions, as Rabbit alluded to earlier in one of his draft write-ups, it is really hard to keep higher earning relief pitchers. And we did know that he wanted to recreate eventually and try to come back to Nashville. And he did kind of owe me a favor since I helped him GM the Miami Sting and the now defunct WSBL to a championship. And so we knew that if he fell far enough and we could make a trade to get him, then we would be able to get him. So, he is also the son of former Nashville Star Gold Glover Jebediah Crunk. So, there's legacy there. So, I'm excited to have him back in the locker room and back on the team. So welcome back, Ziegel.
And another Swifsteed as well. T-Stol's another teammate of yours.
Yeah, it's another great addition, and Ziegel's been an ace in the bullpen for most of the season. Came in clutch in Game 5 of the World Series, got out of a bases-loaded jam, and Nashville's going to love him.
All right, well, congratulations to Jebediah Crunk Jr. for being selected here at pick 33 by the Nashville Stars. A big thank you to Mark666 in the chat for subscribing as well. Much appreciated. And as mentioned, 34 was, not as mentioned, but as one of the forfeits that we had in this third round. Apex are forfeiting their third round pick here. So that brings us instead to the Cancun Toros. Mike, what do we got here for number 35?
Well, first of all, I just want to say I'm glad you cut me off with the 2 trades because I completely forgot we traded down. I completely forgot. But no, some more really, really good value here in the third round. You're going to find that now in this third round and below. There's some great value. So with the 35th selection, we select yet another pitcher, and this is one from my past, a guy that I liked a lot when he created it first, and I was teammates with in the SHL, Drew McIntyre, Kanito Manara, a starter, might be starter, might be reliever, we'll see going forward with him, but really happy to pick up another very talented player and talented user in the top end of the third round. So pitchers galore to finish up a rebuild.
Oh, congratulations! I love this writer just because also the knee guards are also they've got Cancun Toros logos on them as well.
Yeah, the CT
tattoo.
burned into the chest for some reason. I love that.
That's great.
That's great, writer. Love it. So congratulations to Drew McIntyre, Kanito Manara for being selected here at number 35 by the Toros.
Oh, and I do want to say one more real quick thing, AJ. You noticed that TPE is 215, and I think Ziegel was 190s or something, but 215 is a really good earned first season, and we're in the third round. And AJ, you've been around here a long time. You don't get 200 something TPE guys this late.
No, yeah. It just speaks again to the deepness of this draft with how many good players we got, and also a lot of forfeits too. But it brings us to number 36 with Boise. Hannah, you want to lead us into your next pick?
Speaking of great players, there was so many left here, so we really got spoiled for choice. We went with Zalaf Covey, Phalanx. So, Flex is somebody that I know from QCC also. He was my first GM in any sim league, so he's just a fantastic guy, incredibly helpful, great like mentoring presence. Really great at leading teams, and excited to see how he's can be a part of our team, and even better that he's an RP because we're really hurting for RPs, so it just worked out perfectly for us.
Well, it sounds like a great fit for the Boise Raptors then with Zalif Cove. Chat can't see what I'm doing on my other monitor, but I was on the draftees tab of the compendium using Control F to find all the Coveys in the draft because I wasn't sure if there was any more. But there's 4 in this draft, and this is the 4th and final one of them. So
And
congratulations.
another one just created, right? For next year's
I'm sure.
class?
I'm
I
sure.
think there's one more. It's 5 classes in a row.
I'm sure there's at least one for next draft, yeah. So congratulations to Zalif Cove Phalanx for being selected here to the Boise Raptors at number 36. And so with a bunch of forfeits all the way until 40, all the way through 48. That brings us into the 4th round now with the Cancun Toros again, but they will trade it. That's going to OBX instead, and Cancun receives Nigel Ortega in exchange for number 49 overall. So now the Outer Banks Aviators will be on the clock with their next pick, number 49. And with their number 49 overall pick, the Outer Banks Aviators are going to select Pele Schuldiner, center field from the Dillos, user ISLCEY. I don't know how to pronounce that. I'm sorry. I apologize to the user. But we have a quote from Bailey, who says, I had yet another throwback with this one being someone who started on SHL. This guy was someone I had seen a ton over there way back in the day. We started chatting and immediately hit it off in scouting. I got to know them a lot previously and am extremely excited to see them fall to the 4th round somehow. We are more than excited as we know he will fit in perfectly in OBX. Welcome to OBX, Pele. So congratulations to Pele Schuldiner for being selected here at pick number 49.
Yeah, it's a really good pick. I'll just comment quick because I'm teammates with him over on the Dillos. So really surprised he fell this far, honestly.
Yeah, it's with all those like forfeits in the 3rd round. This is basically a 3rd round pick with all
that's true.
So that brings us to number 50 then with Paz. Paz, you want to bring us into your next pick here?
Sure. So, with the 50th overall pick, Indianapolis is going to select Dustin Nash. User is Max. Max has, I know, been around the PvE for a long time, and me and him have talked for a super long time, going back to very, very early seasons in the PvE. So really happy to finally be on a team with Max and bring him over. And catcher was a big need for us too. So yeah, I feel like it just checked off all the boxes for us.
Well, congratulations, Max, for being selected here at pick number 50 to the Indianapolis Apex. Dustin Nash is going to be an Indy Apex. So that now brings us then to number 51, that being the Providence Crabs. Dust, you want to bring us into this one?
Yeah, so again, with this 4th round, 51st overall pick, basically a 3rd round pick. Krabs had gotten a starting pitcher arm in the 2nd round, a couple bats in the 1st round there, and so we wanted to keep rounding out the bullpen. So with this pick, Providence selects Pat McGroin. Yes, I know it's funny. And user is Mike Whiskey. Some might be familiar from ISFL, DSFL there. Solid user over there. He actually scouted me here for my ISFL create here just before I scouted him in PBE, so it's kind of interesting how that works, I guess. But no, nobody's ever said a bad word about this user at all. Super happy to have him. Looking forward to having him provide some depth for the bullpen.
All right. Well, congratulations to Mike Whiskey from the Firehawks. You're headed to the Providence Crabs on the call up at pick number 51. Congratulations. And that brings us into number 52. Hannah, you're up next with the Boise Raptors next pick.
Yes, so we went with Mike Armentrout, user New York Rangers 73. Every single time we had a pick, everybody in the war room would be like, oh my gosh, NYR is still on the board. And so when we got to round 4, they were like, we have to pick him. So we absolutely pounced on this chance. He is a really big user in the SHL. I believe he's an HO intern over there. And everybody just adores this guy. So we're so excited to be able to get him in round 4.
Absolutely. So congratulations to Mike Ermintrow for being selected to the Boise Raptors. NYR headed to Boise. Congratulations for being selected here at pick number 52. Now pick number 53, the Death Valley Scorpions are going to trade their pick for $1 million in season 41 salary cap to the San Antonio Sloths, who will be the next team to pick at number 53, and the Sloths will select Antonio Fresca, shortstop from the Louisville Lemurs, user BMW. Quote from Juosu, who says, we really wanted to trade back in for a while to get this pick in. BMW had slightly less TPE than maybe some other guys, but really impressed us with his interview and knowledge of OOTP for many years. We think that he can be the steal of the draft in a similar way that Esch was for us in recent memory. So if Antonio Fresca continues on that same path as Brian Eshelman, look out PBE. That could be a really dangerous steal of the draft pick here at number 53. So congratulations to Antonio Fresca from the Louisville Lemurs for being selected here to the San Antonio Sloths. That brings us to number 54. Zach, you're back up after Maui trades it away. I spoke a little bit too soon there, but Maui is going to trade this pick away for $1.25 million season 41 salary cap. Now the Stars. Now Zach, you're up with the next pick for the Stars.
Yeah, our very common dance partner in Maui. We made this trade because we just wanted to kind of continue to build in the draft and really rebuild our farm. So with this pick, number 54 in the draft, Nashville selects Tony Yeboah, who is Frazzle 14. He's a right fielder. Taylor talked to them. So what Taylor had to say was it was a pretty good conversation, and we found it. I think this is accurate. I don't really know for sure, but I think he's the co-GM with Unconfident in the ISFL. And he's been earning really well, and we kind of, like I said, need to fill up the farm and get good users that earn. And we look forward to being a part of Nashville in the future and, just really solidify one of our outfield positions. And, he also made a joke at Unconfident's expense, saying we were the only person to ever call him cool. So that was like a for sure, like, we have to get this guy. So.
Oh, man. Congratulations to Tony Yeboah, Frazzle 14. I believe that's Flame McDonald previously, correct? Or is that a different user?
I believe so, yeah.
Okay. So congratulations to Tony Yeboah, Frazzle, for being selected to the Nashville Stars here at pick number 54. And that brings us to number 55. The San Antonio Sloths are back with their next pick, and with number 55 overall selection, the San Antonio Sloths are going to select Zane Cold, user Bubba, first baseman from the Swift Steeds. Another teammate of yours, T-Stoles.
Yeah, great pick here for San Antonio. He's been a huge power bat for the Swift Steeds, and ecstatic to see him with the Sloths. They've got themselves a great corner infielder, first base, someone who's going to get quite a few home runs.
Absolutely, we already see a high average as well for this player, 288. We do have a quote from Juosu who says, "Bubba, I think, had been busy a bit around the time of scouting, which I think was a big reason for him falling. But at some point, his earning just speaks for itself. He has basically max earned, and I think we will be a great addition to our team. You don't really find guys with his TPE this late in the draft usually."
And
So
that's a funny point about him being a little inactive during scouting. That's
Mhm.
exactly what happened during the minors draft too. That's why we got him in very late in the I think it was fourth round of the minors draft. So similar thing here, and I know San Antonio is going to absolutely love Bubba.
Well, congratulations to the San Antonio Sloths for selecting Zane Cold, user Bubba here at pick number 55, and a big congrats to Bubba as well for being selected to the Sloths, a team with a lot of history in the PBE, really well run team in the San Antonio Sloths. And that brings us to number 56 overall, the Detroit Demons. Are now back on the board with their second pick in this draft, all the way in the fourth round. And the Detroit Demons at number 56 will select Tony Gunk Jr., user Tony Gunk, from the Kansas City Hepcats, left fielder. I think, is that render Brian Quinn from the Impractical Joker? I think it is. It looks kind of like a
It
younger
is Q
version of
from the
him.
Impractical Jokers. Yeah.
It's like a younger version of him, kind of. It looks a lot
Oh,
younger
I
than
also
he
just
is.
noted something. I think there might be a typo.
Oh, due to the double K at the end.
Yeah.
You noticed it too. Gunk.
Gunk.
Okay. So, well, congratulations to Tony Gunk. We have a quote from one of the GM's Taco Shop who says, "Our second pick didn't occur until 56 overall. This was a stacked draft, but I wasn't sure who would fall this far. I was so glad that Gunk fell to our pick. I had a great conversation with them and have earned to, I had a great conversation with them, and they've earned to make themselves top 20 in the class. I am looking forward to how the Demons' future looks." So congratulations to Tony Gunk Jr., selected here by the Demons at pick 56. Uh, that brings us to number 57 overall. The Lunar Base Space Rangers now are actually going to trade it away to the Boise Raptors for $1 million in season 40 salary cap. So Hannah, this brings it to you then with the number 57th overall pick.
Yes, Gordo still had somebody that he really liked, and we have quite a bit of cap space from having older players and a lot of young players that were waiting to get TP up to us. So we were happy making this trade to get back on the board and draft Ragnar Lothbrok, user Eric Belmont. So this is a user that Gordo knows from the DSFL. He's a GM over there. So pretty involved over in ISFL, but incredible person. And Gordo was like, "We have to get him." So we did it. We got him.
Well, congratulations to the Raptors for getting Ragnar Lothbrok here. And a couple of people were mentioning in chat. I once again want to bring it up. A big thank you and a big amazing job to the draft graphics team. Just looking at this this render with a Boise Raptors tattoo on the side of the head, it's really cool that they were able to get that on there as well. So amazing job as always to the draft graphics team. So shout out to them as always. They are amazing. So congratulations to Ragnar Lothbrok for being drafted here, pick number 57. And that brings us to number 58, the Cancun Toros. Mike, you're back with another pick.
Oh, I am.
Yes.
All right. Well, with the 58th selection, I can't wait to see this render. With the 58th selection in the S39 draft, the Cancun Toros select a dear friend of mine, who is minors only this time, Gaslight Gatekeep Girl Boss, aka Sarah, a very close friend of mine, and the most unusual pick. One of the most unusual picks I have ever made. Sarah wants to stay down, and that's fine. I actually took Sarah in this instance not to play for me, but to come join my war room. So very interesting. Sarah doesn't have a war home and said that she would join mine if I took her. So I said, okay, because you can never have too many out of the park geniuses in your ranks. Sarah, welcome to Cancun for however long you decide to stay, which I can imagine won't be too long as a player. But were you going to do the same thing? Yeah. So yeah, and in my war room, probably long time to come while I'm still GM. So welcome, Sarah.
So congratulations to Sarah, Gaslight Gatekeep Girl Boss, headed to Cancun, the Cancun Toros here at pick number 58. Congratulations. And that brings us to number 59 overall with Seattle Sea Serpents. And with the number 59 overall selection, the Seattle Sea Serpents are going to select Hot Dog, first baseman from the Louisville Lemurs, user I'm Satan Jr. 210 TPE, as we mentioned, lots of high TPE players fall into later rounds here. But 210 TPE in the fourth round at pick 59. We do have a quote from Musha, who says, "We had great scouting combos with this user, and they seemed like a great fit for our build as we move forward. A steal at this point in the draft. Welcome to Seattle, Hot Dog." So congratulations to
Sarah, why is Anik the vendor?
Is that unique?
Yes, that's Anik.
Oh my God, that is.
Why is Anik the vendor? What are you doing?
A unique hot dog vendor. This is great.
That's
And
great.
he could be anything he wants, and he wanted to be a hot dog vendor. So do not keep him from his dream. Why are you stopping on Anik's dream of being a hot
Anik
dog vendor?
also
Sarah,
wants
Sarah,
Swifties.
Sarah,
It's gonna be easy.
is this for the audio? Is this a Easter egg for the audio file thing? I hate. Oh my God, this is actually a. Oh my God, I love Sarah so much.
This is
Oh
amazing.
my Lord, it's an Easter egg, isn't it?
So
Jesus.
congratulations to hot Nick Docs. Well, I mean, like if the image is out there, that's
Everyone knows what he looks like. He's like 5 renders at this point.
so congratulations to Hot Dog for being vended over to Seattle Sea Serpents at number 59 overall here. And that brings us to number 60. Paz, we got another pick for you.
Yes, we do. I was not paying attention. I'm sorry. I was getting blasted in chat for trying to defend Anik, but yes, with the 60th pick, Indianapolis is going to be drafting Anthony Simmons the second. Username is Starchy Chef. They are starting a pitcher. Another person from the Dillos. We have a ton of people on the Dillos now on the team, so it's very exciting time over here. Very happy to get Starchy Chef to bring up as starting pitcher or rotational player, whatever they want to do. So, congrats.
A big
The
congrats.
I'm on the
Dillos
Dillos.
are cooking. Yeah, we've got a lot of great players in the draft, and a few of them have been from the Dillos. But yeah, ecstatic, and that pitching core is going to be oh so deadly. PB's got to watch out.
I'm on the Dillos. Why don't you draft me?
Oops.
If only they could. Dillo. Okay.
They might be able to. I don't know what would happen actually, but they could try. I don't know what that looks like.
Time to break all the rules in the PBE.
That brings us to number 61 overall with the Outer Banks Aviators. And with the number 61 overall selection, the Outer Banks Aviators are going to select Will Ishers, center fielder from the Florida Flamingos, user Will Nuthers. We do have a quote from OBX from Bailey saying, quote, "This is going to be our number one hype man. We need all the hype we can get from him. I love seeing him in Twitch chat rooting OBX on. Would he fit in any other place? No, he wouldn't. He's coming home to OBX. Sorry, hummus." So congratulations to Will Ishers for being selected here at number 61 to the Outer Banks Aviators. With another amazing render by the Draft Graphics team. Very interesting seeing Bryce Harper in OBX gear, but there you have it. So, congratulations to Will Ishers for being selected to Outer Banks Aviators here. That brings us to number 62 overall, the Seattle Sea Serpents once again. And the Sea Serpents will make a selection here, and they will select Jake Brummer, user Nick No Handles, third baseman from the Florida Flamingos. We do have a quote again from one of the new GMs of Seattle, Musha, who says, "Another great scouting convo with this user. Welcome to Seattle, Jake Brummer. Let's see what we can do." So congratulations to Jake Brummer for being selected here to the Seattle Sea Serpents at pick number 62. As we move on now to 63, Zach, we got another one of your picks.
Woo! With pick number 63, the National Stars select Boris Yavlasik. I don't know how to say that last name, I'm going to be honest. User is Comrade Cat, their second baseman. This is actually one of those rare instances where I don't think we had a conversation before we drafted them. That actually really never happens in Nashville's history, but we wanted to go with best player available, and I look forward to having a good conversation with them and them becoming a good part of the National Stars' future.
Well, congrats to Boris Yavlaisk. I just improvised that. Sure, that's probably
better than mine.
Yavlaisk. Congrats for being selected to the Nashville Stars here at pick number 63, and congrats to the Stars for getting Boris Yavlaisk. And that brings us to number 60.
Oh, wait a minute. And before anybody perhaps thinks about poo-pooing Zach for not talking to the guy, number one, you don't usually have drafts where you can draft 50 people active. Number one. Number two, very difficult to scout said 50 people.
Yeah.
In a draft, or in this case, it was 60 people that, or 50, 5 people that weren't absolutely completely cold one post IAs. So, a very difficult thing to scout this wide dearth of a class. So it was gonna happen somewhere.
That's true. So that brings us to number 64, Mike, with your next pick.
Yeah, and our final pick before we started passing. With the 64th pick, we went on to our shady beach, and we casted the rod, and we pulled up a rainbow trout, and then we just decided to draft him. So, hello, Crane. He is off currently at the Air Force. Oh dear God, what is that?
That is the rainbow
You
trout.
just now see the
That
render?
is a rainbow trout.
I just clicked back to Discord to see the render. Oh Lord.
It's a rainbow trout.
But anyway, Dayton Mac, aka Crane, he's off at the Air Force Academy. He's been chasing miners rings, which is just about the weirdest thing I've ever heard for a player goal. But hey, it's this player goal, and we didn't really have anybody else we felt like taking here, so we just thought we'd take Crane for fun. And he's a really fun guy. I'll invite him to the locker room. I really hope he joins it. And there's so many people he knows in Cancun and know him and have a good time. So Crane, if you decide to stick this one out for more than one season, you'll play for me. So a good friend of mine, a really good kid. Welcome to Cancun.
I agree.
And he's a Hepcat, and of course we've got to draft those. It's just what we got to do.
You can definitely tell there's minor league teams that are technically farm systems for majors teams. At this point, the Swifties is kind of the farm system for the Aviators, Dillo's kind of for the Apex, and the Hepcats for the Toros.
Well, and here's the other thing, though, Stalls. The Hepcats one isn't really that surprising when you
that's
consider
not
the
surprising
fact
because
that
they're
we
stacked.
ran the damn thing. And Hepcats, by the way, you got to give Hepcats to the Voyagers too.
Yeah.
Um,
It's been a
honestly,
while since I drafted Hepcats, honestly.
Yeah.
So-
You just
Now, the
drafted
Hepcats,
one.
They're
Well,
always
yeah,
so
I mean
good,
before
so-
this. I mean, we
Yeah.
have more
Oh,
bears
yeah,
than we've had anything else in recent years. So
And you can contribute that to Punk, I'm sure.
yeah.
Yeah, so it just, the links is just whoever's in your war room. I'm sure that there will be a Dillo link that forms with us over the coming seasons because Zodiac is a prominent member of us. And a bear one with Steel.
There was a meme several seasons back with the Firehawks being the farm system for the Vandals, because the Vandals had quite a few Firehawks picks in a few seasons. But yeah, I kind of love that headcanon of having farm systems for Major League teams matching up with minor league teams. But I agree with Person Man, who said in chat that this is an S tier graphic. That's all I wanted to say before we moved on.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, also, California and Lunar Base, can't forget to mention that one, guys who ran that team before in 2 different windows, actually. bunch of Firehawks have gone there. So yeah, absolutely, there are pseudo farm teams.
Yeah. So that's going to be the fourth round, and that brings us into the fifth round. And as Mike mentioned, that was the last Cancun Toros pick because the Toros do pass here at number 65. As do
Always one of our favorite players, Pass, by the way. He's done a great job GMing for the Apex, or sorry, Pass, not Pass. I always forget. But anyway, I just want to say thanks everybody for coming to the draft. AJ, Stoles, you guys have done a wonderful job hosting. I am going to dip out. Hope everybody really likes where they went. Bunch of great homes here in PBE, and I'll talk to you guys later. But yeah, everybody, hope you love your Majors team. Welcome to the bigs. Unfortunately, sooner rather than later for most of you, to be on your actual big league squads. But welcome to the bigs. I hope you enjoyed this experience, scouting all of it, and I'm gonna dip. So thank you, AJ Stoles, for having me on. Peace out.
Thanks for stopping by,
For
Mike,
coming.
and take care. But that brings us to number 66, the Apex, which will who will also pass, as will the Maui Makos and the Boise Raptors and the Death Valley Scorpions and the Providence Crabs and the San Antonio
What the
Slots.
fuck?
we were talking about how with all the forfeit and cap penalties that they didn't show up one by one. Well, we do get that with the passes, so we got that at least.
Finally, not leaking any of the passes, which is good. That's the
Yeah,
most important thing.
it's
There's the
true.
most important picks.
Absolutely.
They are.
Speaking of picks, we do actually have a pick at number 72 from Detroit. And the Detroit Demons are going to select shortstop Brody White from the Florida Flamingos. Let's see. They are a power archetype shortstop, so that's a kind of interesting combination. Looks like they haven't been seen since March 8th, so we're kind of in the phase of the draft where we're picking up players that are kind of like flyer picks. They're hoping to bring them back to activity. They could be steals if they do come back to the PBE and start earning, but it's been a while since Brody was around, so we'll see if they do come back to the Demons and take the PBE by storm. So congrats to Brody White for being selected here by the Demons at pick number 72. And with pick number 73, the Space Rangers will pass, as will the Surge and the Sea Serpents, bringing us to Enoch for number 76. Enoch, talk to me.
Yeah. So this is kind of just, I guess, just a dart throw.
Another flyer pick,
yeah,
yeah.
we're this late, and oh, hang on one second. Let me just pull this up just to make sure I'm saying it, that I did not get this wrong. Oh, sorry. Oops, I pulled the wrong thing. Okay.
Enoch, we're so close to the end of the draft. We're drifting to the finish line here.
Hey, just click to the next. Just click to the next.
All
Slide.
right.
I'm sorry. I kind of walked away there, and
Ryan James.
Ryan James. That is correct. So they did. Yeah, I mean they did log on to the server. We were kind of debating if we were going to pass, but if this person is, I'm down for helping someone come back and giving them a home, and if they choose to. So, but I'll reach back out to them. I didn't hear anything first time, but yeah, I mean, if we could bring them back to activity, that would be great. Just another person in the league, and that'll be wonderful.
Well, congratulations to Ryan James for being selected here to the New York Voyagers. I almost said New York Aviators by mistake. New York Voyagers.
Wow, that's messed up.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Enoch. I'm sorry. So, congratulations to Ryan James for being selected here to the New York Voyagers. And that brings us to number 77. OBX will make a selection of the Outer Banks Aviators. We'll select Steve Squirtle, shortstop, from the Anchorage Wheelers. Perry PHX is the username. 127 TPE so far with the balanced archetype as a shortstop. This is another player that hasn't been around for a bit in the PBE. Last time they were seen was February 19th. February 22nd. It looks like. So it's been over a month. They are officially inactive, but maybe OBX is able to bring them back to activity by picking them up here at number 77. Best of luck to the Aviators, and congrats to Steve Squirrel for being selected to Outer Banks. That brings us to the Vandals, who have not had a pick this entire draft, and with number 78 overall, the Vandals will pass. It's just
All this time.
Wow.
All this pass. All this time, all this pass. Nashville Stars will also pass, as will the Rougarous, as will the Demons, as will the Voyagers, and that brings us to number 9. And shocker of all shockers, the Outer Banks Aviators are the last team picking. I know that shocks all of the longtime draft fans. Bailey says never pass. Number 93, the Outer Banks Aviators will select Scott Sterling, user S. Stelling, from the State College Swifties, starting pitcher with 100 TV. What was that, T-Stoles? Are you going to say something?
Oh, no, nothing.
Oh,
No, I
okay.
was going to say, Scott Sterling! The man!
Sterling,
The myth!
The
legend!
legend!
Scott
Unfortunately,
Sterling.
Sterling's disappeared, but if they're able to get Sterling back, that is a potential sleeper pick.
Absolutely. If anyone does not
I have a feeling
recognize-
that baseball is going to hurt his face a lot more than the soccer ball did.
I feel like it's a lot harder, a lot more firm, I guess. If anyone does not recognize the reference that the three of us are making, as well as the renderer and the name are making, go look up Scott Sterling on YouTube. I promise you, you will not be disappointed. One of the greatest goalies in modern history.
The other one of volleyball is incredible too. So the two of them, just watch both of them. It's incredible.
Yeah. Also great at volleyball, yeah. But go YouTube Scott Sterling. I promise you will not be disappointed. So Scott Sterling will be the pick for Outer Banks here at number 93. And that brings us to the 7th round, where Outer Banks at 109, the never pass quote from Bailey is contradicted here, as they do pass. So much for never pass, Bailey.
Man, I was excited to see who was going to go at 109, the literal first ever relevant into the 100s.
We've had picks go into the 100s.
We had the
800s.
100s before, yeah, we did.
Never pass. What about all the 100 TPE players that you're?
Yeah, Bailey did pass.
Bailey passed at the end of the draft.
Yeah, you had to pass because that's the only way that the draft would have ended.
I mean,
theoretically,
you got
the draft
if you didn't pick everybody.
You got
so
Joey
technically
Cease,
speaking,
you got Ty France Jr., Ian Degon.
No, Bailey, you say you ended the draft. I mean, you
Al
said
Duggar.
that,
Ash
but
Ketchum?
technically speaking,
Ash Ketchum went unpicked.
Exactly.
It's not ended the draft. There are still
really
draftees available. It's a pass.
He just called it a day. He quit.
It's a pass. Yeah.
He quit.
Jokes aside, that's all, folks. Thanks everybody for stopping by and watching. Much appreciated. To once again, a big thank you and a big shout out to our draft graphics team for all that they do to make this presentation so wonderful. It was a pass, Bailey, and thank you to all of the GMs as well as T-Stools for co-hosting tonight. Much appreciated to all of you. Big special thank you to both Enoch and T-Stools, who are the only ones to stick around until the very end. So thanks, guys. Did you both have fun?
Yeah. It's always drafts is always fun.
T-Stools, what do you think?
Yeah. Oh, I had a great time. Honestly, I've kind of been in and out of a few of the locker rooms too. I know we're very happy at Indy, but yeah, this is certainly a draft to remember. So many great players, and I'm really excited to see how they turn out.
Absolutely. It's going to be exciting to see the season 39 draft group of draftees build up their TPE and become big stars in the PBE. Be sure to tune in to the Minors Draft, which is coming up at some point. I'm pulling up the schedule right now to double check the time on that. That's going to be Saturday, March 25th, this coming Saturday, 2 days from now. Minors Draft will be presented by one of the GMs that was in here earlier, Distillation, will be bringing it to you around 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, or Eastern Daylight Time. I think now is actually the time, even though everyone still puts EST on the schedule. But EDT, 4 p.m. Distillation will be bringing you the Miners Draft on Saturday. Be sure to tune in for that. And then on Sunday, the day after, we have the award stream presented by AU Gold, as always. And then we are starting up with Spring Train next week. A week from today is the first Spring Train stream. So be sure to tune into all of those. Keep an eye on the Game Day channel in the PBE main Discord for all of those times and further information on when those streams will be going live. Thank you, everyone. Also to chat as well for sticking around to this point. Everyone knows that Bailey did indeed pass and didn't end the draft, and that's going to be it for us. So thank you, and thank you all, and hope you have a great rest of your week. We'll see you in the future streams down the road. Take care, everyone.